Are you looking for some granny square inspiration that's a little bit different to your traditional granny square? If that's the case, then this video is definitely for you. Hi guys, I'm Jessie of Crochet by Jessie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at how to make this African flower granny square. So without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. A few things that you guys need to take note just before we start this tutorial. You may have seen, but I made this bag. I did a complete start from how to do the square as well as making the bag, assembling it, the whole thing, and I have that on this channel. But today's square is going to be slightly different because this is using a very fine cotton yarn and I'm using standard acrylic yarn just because I want this to be a bigger square. I want you to be able to see the stitches a little bit better, and it's going to be a slightly slower walkthrough of the entire process. And I'm still going to be using this 4mm crochet hook. I'll be honest, you could use a 4, you could use a 4.5, you could probably even use a 5. I just enjoy using 4 and I feel like my tension naturally is quite loose anyway, so I get away using this size hook. So you'll see up until this red colour here, you've got 5 colours. So I'm going to just be showing you how to make this square bit here. And you need those 5 colours. I've chosen 5 colours myself. I've realised after that I'm going for a slight Flora kind of Winx Club vibe, but to be honest, I'm kind of living for it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm using my limey greeny colour first, and we're going to start by doing a slip knot. Don't know how I just tried to turn that into a slip knot, but let's try again. So we're going to put our hook in and we're going to do a total of 4 chains to start. 3 and 4. We're then going to do a slip stitch into that first chain to make a circle. Once you've done that, chain 1 and then do 2 double crochets going into that middle. And they'll look like that. Chain 1 and then do 2 more double crochets into that space. Chain again and then do another 2 double crochets. 1 and 2, and we're just going to be repeating that process. We're going to do it until we have a total of 8 lots of the 2 double crochet together. So that's 1, 2 and 3 that we've just done. So just keep repeating that process. So 4 lots, we're on to the 5th lot now, that's just finished. On to the 6th. You can always scrunch your work down as well if you need a bit more room, because I always find that my stitches are just too big, but then you can just move them along, thankfully. They don't have to stay in place for this part. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So we just need to do one last cluster of 2. 1 and 2. Perfect. We're going to chain 1. We're then doing our slip stitch into the first stitch of that first cluster of 2 double crochet. We're then going to chain, but before we can finish and do another stitch, we're going to cut, pull through. That is the end of the first round, and we're going to be starting a second colour as we go into round 2. This is how it looks after round 1 is finished. That's this cute little section here, but just a little bit bigger. We're going to start round 2, and I'm using this gorgeous pink yarn. So we're going to be putting our hook into the chain 1 spaces for this round. So I've put my hook in here for now, and then we're going to be starting a new colour, and I'll just show you guys how I join my new colours on. You can do whatever method you like, but this is just how I do it. So I hold my colour down behind, pull it through, but I'm still holding onto the back so that it doesn't go all the way through. And then I chain 1. So it's kind of like this. You want to be careful because you can pull it out still. But what I do next is when I crochet over this part just to keep it in place. So in this first chain 1 space, what we're going to be doing is a total of 3 double crochet. So I'm doing 1, and you'll see that I'm just crocheting that loose end and crocheting over it just to keep it in place. So I've done my 3 double crochet, and then you'll see I've crocheted over that as well, so I've kept it more in place, which is good. So we've done our first 3 double crochet. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to go into the next chain 1 space and do another 3 double crochet. 2 and 3. We're going to chain 2 again, and then we're going to do another 3 double crochet going into this same space. 2 and 3. And then we're just going to repeat that same process the entirety of this round. One thing I will note now is the loose end from when we finished the round previously in round 1. I'm just crocheting over that as I go along as well, because I just find that it saves you so much more time just doing that, because you have way less loose ends to weave, and for the most part you can just trim it from the back after that. So I'll just show you guys what I mean. See, I've crocheted that along and I've kept it in place. So do what you want. If you like a really specific way of doing it, then of course just do that, because you do not have to change your ways of crochet just based off what I do. But I just find that it makes life a little bit easier, and if you're like me and you hate weaving in loose ends, it's a little bit of a hack to not have to do it as much. Okay, so I'm just finishing the last of it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots of 3 double crochet together. Just doing the last cluster of 3 now. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to do our 2 chains, and we're going to do a slip stitch into that first double crochet of that cluster there. That is the second round done. And then chain, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut that yarn again, because we're going to change colour for round number 3. But that's how it's looking so far. This is how it's looking now that round 2 is done. So you will see that is that small section there. We've got a bigger version, of course, but this is how it is looking. So this next section here, which you'll see it's the petals, that is actually round 3 and 4 together, because it just made sense to have it all in one colour, because if not, you wouldn't really be able to tell they're petals. So I've chosen this gorgeous green to do round 3 and round 4. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by going in the chain 2 space. So we are going to do, we're going to join it in the way I always join it. We're then going to do 2 double crochets, number 1 and number 2. We're then going to chain 2 times and then do a further 2 double crochet in that same space. So each space should be 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet. Then repeat and do the exact same thing into the next chain 2 space. So 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet, like that. 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet, and then we're doing 2 double crochet again because we're starting the next chain 2 space. 2 double crochet and then another 2 there. So that is 3 sections done already, and we're just going to do the exact same thing. We're going all the way around. What's really nice is you kind of know where you stand when it comes to the repeats for the square, because you're not going to have things just randomly change at one stage and just be confusing, and just a part that maybe is instrumental but you can just totally forget as you're doing it, because I for one get into a major pattern groove, and I feel like if I'm just used to repeating in a certain way, I will keep doing that. And I feel like sometimes in designs you look back and then you realise, oh, I was not meant to do that, and you were meant to do something different, let's say goodness 10 steps back or something. So very thankful that this is a pretty easy and repetitive way of doing this. And what I love is I feel like the square, it looks very complicated, but I would actually say it's really not that bad. It's one of those really beautiful designs that's simple but effective, and yeah, I love designs like that. Okay, we're nearly done. So I will also note that I'm going to crochet over this end as well, just to keep it in place. Because as always, if you can make life easier for yourself, why not? Okay, just about to get into this last section here. So we're going to do the 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Ooh, there we are. And then we're going to slip stitch into that first one. There we are. So this is how it is looking so far, guys. It's really, really cute. So this is round 3 done. We're now going to go into round 4, which is the next section, but it's using the same colour. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just slip stitch into that chain 2 space here, chain 1, and then you're going to do a total of 7 double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and that's all in that same space, and that creates the gorgeous little petal effect. You're then just going to go straight into the next chain 2 space in the next section, and then just do another 7 double crochet, and you're just going to repeat that process all the way around. Make sure I've counted right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, and then go to the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And you can see it's starting to form a really cute little effect here. So yeah, just keep doing that all the way around, and then you should have a lot of, I think it's 8 lots of the 7 double crochet going around. And you'll see it's just everything's done in 8s for the majority of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then another lot of that. We've nearly finished the 4th round, so we've done our last cluster of 7, and we just need to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet for that first cluster, and then we're going to do our chain, cut the yarn and pull through, and then we're going to be starting our next colour for round number 5. With this round, guys, number 5 is just the little trimming around the actual petals. So what we're going to do, I'm going to see we've got that gap here. Here is the first out of that lot of 7 of the double crochet. I'm going to join as I usually do, and then you're just going to do a single crochet in every single one of those 7 double crochets that you did previously. So that's number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're then going to do a double crochet, but you're going to drop down not into this section but into this section here. So just do that as a single crochet. There we are. And then you've got another 7 single crochets to do. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And then again you're going to drop down and do a single crochet into that space there. And this is the effect it creates, and you're just going to keep doing that all of the way around. And then after that, we're just going to do one final round, which is just going to square off the design. So it's really not that difficult to do, but I just feel like, especially this row, it adds a lot more dimension and just makes it really pretty. So we're going to drop down again, and then do our next lot of the 7 single crochets. And then you're just going to keep doing that. And what I'll do is I'll start again once I've gone all the way around. Just finishing up round number 5, guys. I've gone all the way around. I've done my 7 single crochet here. I'm going to do my final drop down single crochet. Oh, make sure you actually do it right though. There we are. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to slip stitch it to the first single crochet of this round that we did, which was the first one of that group of 7. Then you're going to again do your chain. Try not to drop your scissors on the floor like I nearly just did. Cut your yarn and pull through. And then we just have one round left to do, and it's just that final round in red that you'll see here that just squares off the overall design. We're now onto our final round, guys. I'm using this really nice bright deep green here. So what we're going to do, you'll see our drop down single crochet here. We're going to work into the stitch after that. So join in the way you join and do a single crochet in there to start. That is the first one. We're going to do 3 more. So 1, 2, and then 3. So that's the first 4 stitches for this round, 4 single crochets. We're then going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch just to make it a little bit taller. And then after that, in the next 2 stitches, we're going to do 1 double crochet in each. So it looks like that. In the drop down single crochet, we're going to do a treble, 3 chains, and then a treble. So that's 1 treble, 1, 2, 3 chains, and then another treble. And then we're going to start to do the opposite. So we're going to mirror what we've just done. And then in the next stitch, we're doing a double crochet. The one after that, we're doing a double crochet. We're then dropping down again to the half double crochet. And then we're going to do 4 single crochets, 2, 3, and 4. And you'll see that's just mirrored this section here. That drop down single crochet is going to be a half double crochet, and then we're just going to repeat everything that we have just done again. So we're going to start off again with our 4 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and 4, our half double crochet, our 2 double crochets, and 2, and then our treble, chain 3, treble, all in the same space, which is that drop down single crochet. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the process. Just keep repeating that, guys, and it should end up looking like this, and just square off the entirety of this flower design. I'm just finishing up the last of my final round. It's looking square and I'm so happy with how it's looking. So I did the final 4 single crochet, so I've just got my last half double crochet to do in that final stitch, which is the drop down single crochet. And then I'm going to do my slip stitch, chain 1, I'm going to cut the yarn, pull through, and that is the end of the square. At this stage, if you do have any loose ends like this one that you want to weave in, I've got these that I need to trim, but for the most part I did kind of weave them in as I went along. And yeah, once you've done that and tidied it up, it is going to be completely finished. And yeah, I hope you guys end up having something looking somewhat like this and that it was easy to follow. Fingers crossed and touch wood, but by this stage you should have an African flower granny square looking somewhat similar to mine. Obviously, if you chose to use different materials, if you wanted to use a thin cotton like the one I did in my previous video using a African flower granny square, it will end up a lot smaller than it is for me here. But yeah, I hope you guys really enjoy the tutorial. I always have so much fun making this square, and I hope you are now able to make some really amazing projects using it. If you'd like to see more tutorials like this, or just anything crochet in general, then please do subscribe to this channel, because we are on the road to 3K, which is very exciting. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.